Ooh,
All right, we're just starting the recording. It is the 21st of November and we are all together, and it's Steve and Nancy's anniversary, so we're celebrating their success, their love, their commitment, all of that. And it's Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving.
Yay.
And the Steve, sorry, Friday is Stevie's birthday.
Oh, and it's Stevie's birthday.
And the good news is when you're not on the road, you get to celebrate all those things, you know?
That's right. That's right. But you guys were on the road last week, so why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, he was.
Well, I was on the road to
pickleball.
Pickleball, that's right.
Yeah.
2-day camp, 6 hours each day. I was completely used up at the end of each day, I can tell you this. But it was a good experience. You know, we had 4 coaches there with about 32 students. So there was a lot of interaction with the coaches themselves, who are and the top 2 coaches who kind of own the system, walking around all the time, you know, making adjustments, giving you hints, tips. You know, here's how to do it better. Here's a different way of thinking about it. You know, and we said a lot of good experience with the 2 coaches, and then their assistants were great. I mean, they're kind of like little loving spirits who kind of hover on the outside and make sure everybody's having a good time and getting what they need. So
Very fun. And did you end up going by yourself? Because I know Nancy wasn't doing the camp, but you were going to go at one point.
right, I did, yeah, and you know, that was okay. 'Cause frankly, I wouldn't have been much company at the end of the day anyway.
Like toast.
It was really intense. Yeah, I came home, took a shower, and we hit the sack.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I haven't played pickleball for a long time, but an hour and a half and I'm toast for like 2 days. 6 hours, 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Well, one of those days, it was the temperature was probably in the mid to low 50s all day. It started raining about 2 o'clock, and we're out in the open air, you know, and they moved us after about 30, 40 minutes, but still everybody's damp, and you know, it was pretty miserable there for a little bit, but you know, it's just part of the game, you know.
So will you do it next year?
Well, somebody asked, they do this also in Lake Tahoe and at Tampa, and I would consider either location really. Somebody said to me, yeah, but at Lake Tahoe, not only are you going to have to deal with learning pickleball better, but you're going to have to deal with the height, the atmosphere.
Yeah, the
You know,
altitude. Yeah.
5,000 or 6,000 feet, whatever it is, in Lake Tahoe. And that might be something to think about.
Yeah, you'd need the week vacation beforehand, though, to acclimate.
It's
And
true.
after to survive.
And after to survive. Well,
But it was a lot of fun. Met people from all over the U.S. You know, it was
Well, that's fun.
yeah, mostly all age groups. I mean, there were no 20-somethings, but there was a couple of 30-somethings, and the rest more senior than that, and certainly some more senior than me. You know, so
very cool. Anything else you want to check in on?
oh, I think that's it. You know, just happy to be in a relationship with my sweetie for 34 years now,
Yeah.
and it really feels good. Feels right.
Nice. I think he just passed it to you, Nancy.
Oh, did he? Oh. Say something nice. Am I supposed to say something nice now? Same for me, Stevie. No, I think I summed it up as like, where did that time go? Because if I consciously thought about it adding up, I would have gone, oh shit. How'd we do that? But you just don't think of it that way, you know. I've learned, but we've had fun. I have to say we had fun this week. I'm trying to get, you know, decorations done because I wanted, for whatever reason, I just declared that this is supposed to be a blockbuster year of festivities. I so declare. Well, the guy that my decorating buddy that comes to help me was exposed to COVID last week, the day before he was supposed to come in, and they just tested positive. And he said, I don't think you want me to do that to you. And I go, actually, no. It's not, it's not that he had it or sick. He was just canceling all of his appointments for a week. There's just too many of us. So it's so funny. I tried to ask Steve to help me do some things with I can't get up on ladders yet. They don't let me on ladders. Can you believe that? You think a knee brace would mean that you could climb tall buildings, but which I'm worried. But anyway, Steve was he's not a ladder guy. He's not a height guy. And I had him up trying to decorate the Christmas tree yesterday, putting some stuff on top, and we have a different tree. And two things happen. A, we've been married this long because he doesn't help me decorate. Don't screw up a good plan. So I looked at him and I said, look, it's a different tree. And it honestly doesn't like the direction I'm trying to force it to go in. It doesn't want to do it. The look that I got, it's not happening. It's not unfolding. It's not happening. My vision is, and I said to him, so when I let him off the hook and said, why don't you go go do something? I said, it'll tell me what it wants before long. And it's hysterical. You would think an inanimate object would not be giving you direction on how it should be, how it wants to evolve. But this little sucker is. It's just, I think it's an AI. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we had, and I asked him to plug in a couple of things that have the strip cord so I can just, step on it and turn them off and on. Well, here's what I found out. I think everybody on the rest of the world can get down on their knees and get underneath stuff and do it, because that's what I did before. And he looked as bad as I did trying to get back up. And I go, I have this illusion that everybody else around me is perfectly agile, and then I see he got down and he did it. And he goes, this is not really my thing. My knees don't work on this. And I go, oh my God, I'm so self-centered. I know there are obviously some where you can't, but I just think the majority of the world can bend and do. So don't come into my house, or I might ask you to do those things. So, but it was just a silly realization, but just everybody's got their things going on. And I had a buddy send me a little huggy snail up here saying that, it might be slow, but it's steady. You just got to keep, and that just made my day. So, but I'm working on, and I'll say what, I have a catalyst. I have this young friend I'm talking about, and she has this mantra that she only wants authentic relationships. It's one thing to say that you only want authenticity, you don't want, and I would think that I would be in accord with that, but to have someone who is full tilt boogie and take no prisoners and leans into it like a Mack truck, according to my nature. And I'm looking at it and going, oh, wow. How close to authentic am I? Am I dancing, or is that a really, really a part of my nature? And what's that mean? So I've been pondering all those silly little catalysts, pondering what relationships maybe are to be or to look like in my experience now. So I'm being challenged in that's just, whoops. Well, I'm here if you can still hear me.
We can.
Okay, good. I'm not sure what that was. But anyway, that's kind of where I don't know if that means that, if a growth spurt is finally coming on, because I feel like I've been flowing in this beautiful bubble of recovery. It almost feels like something's coming along and going, that's sweet, that's nice, you do that really well now. And there's just a little nudge. You feel the nudge sometimes. Anyway, that's me today.
Okay, awesome. Pay attention to those nudges before they become earthquakes. Right. All right, Kate or Linda?
Well,
Oh,
I'll
go ahead,
start.
Linda. Go ahead.
Well, there's a siren or some kind of sound going off in the other room. So I feel like I need to check that. But so I'll talk through it for now, but I need to go check that. I don't know what it could be. But what's going on for me is basically I feel like I've been on sort of a dare I say, smooth ride. There's ups and downs in it, but I feel like I'm, I got to a point of accepting a lot of I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when we were together about state of my life and just feeling like I can't go on because I have so much stuff that's holding me back, that's undone and incomplete. And so I've been working on, I got this urge or somehow this inner motivation, which I've been asking for a long time. Primarily to get rid of all the stuff or a lot of the stuff in my room so that I can make space to, I couldn't even figure out what to do with things because I didn't have any place to put it, and so I ended up, my storage unit's in Round Rock, and I have one out there because it was cheaper than having them in Central Austin. But it was bought out a couple of times, and now the prices are as high, or actually turns out higher than this extra storage space that's right down the street from me. So I ended up renting a little more than double the size unit. And I'm in the process of been moving stuff, taking boxes out of my room, out of the storage unit and putting them in there and sorting it so that I got it big enough so that I feel like I can have that as my organizing space. And so it's been working really well about getting, this is stuff that I want to go through. This stuff is like giveaway things. This stuff that, it's like, what do I want to do with it? And other stuff is things that I want to sell, that I'm not ready to just give away, that I want something back for. And then all of the boxes of stuff, boxes of books and knickknacks kind of stuff, mostly sentimental ones, but a lot of that stuff is just going through which ones do I want to keep or not. And then paperwork, old paperwork and a lot of back taxes or tax receipts and that kind of stuff that I don't know if I'm ever going to use that stuff or not, but I need it for now. And so I just need to go through a lot of piles of paper because I'm not good at filing. So over the years, I've gotten in the habit of bringing stuff with me. So I bring these projects with me to all these jobs in different people's homes. And some homes are really great. They've got places for me to work and I line it up and I get a lot done. Others, there's just no place to spread out. And so I end up piling them up. And I had stacks of to-do things that I never got back to. So that's why I wanted a unit where the plan is to set up a little table and be able to have a workspace that's not in my room. And so I'm feeling very enthusiastic. And also I've had people, it happens a lot around holidays anyway, but there's been a lot of changes in my very busy schedule. And most of it's been people cutting back or changing their jobs and which when they do it last minute, I get paid anyway. So I'm getting paid, but I'm still having free time to do this stuff. So I feel like, Spirit's just been supporting me in moving along. And it's been really great, really great. I'm back working. I have a pup now through Saturday. And so then next week I have some free time. And then my December is just very crowded too. But it's all fun stuff. It's good stuff. So anyway, moving. It's moving, and I feel like it's moving positively. And I am really grateful. It's a grateful season, and I'm very grateful.
Nice. Nice. Thank you. And Kate.
I am coming out from the dead, I think. I was so beyond exhausted that I did not know even remotely how exhausted I was. So I had the whole last week alone to just kind of catch up. And I didn't even really come up for air until late Wednesday. I just was exhausted. I just could not hardly do anything. But thank God I started feeling like myself again. About Wednesday night, I started, or I don't know, I started to kind of do a turnaround, probably because I had a session coming with Eliza and I had to get my head together and be like, well, what are we going to talk about? Because I'm not even functional, you know? So that helped a ton. And I had started my uncle's project that I talked about last time that's been sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting. And I went back and looked at it, and I had downloaded all of his chapters and all of his pictures previously when I tried to get started on it. And when I did it before, I've been like, why are there two chapters that are completely different on my mom's mother? Which one do I use? Why does this picture say the child third from the left is my great grandpa, but this one says it isn't? I mean, I was like, I don't even know what to do with this stuff, and so many duplicates of stuff. Anyway, because I was home alone, I did like full focus on that and wasn't interrupted except by an occasional cat. And when Shirley's gone, the cats are like little angels. They sleep all day in the other room, all day. They don't need to come out and make sure they get the whole day. It's like when I used to live alone with them. I didn't see them until night. They would sleep and then they come, oh, you're done working. Okay. Well, anyway, I started working on it and I didn't realize how energizing having a challenge would be, and having a challenge to do for someone that really cares about it. And therefore I cared about it for him. And boy, I got it done in 2 days and it's gorgeous. And I had some questions. So I sent it to him. I was like, what about this? And, just little questions. But it gave me so much energy to put myself into something like that had seemed overwhelming. And I figured out a way around everything. Like the picture that tells us whether it's great grandpa or not I just didn't put he was in there or not. I just put the so and so family. And I just picked, anyway. But there was ways around everything. And I was so happy to have that done because I'd been feeling badly that I hadn't gotten that done yet. So, and then I had all these plans. You would not believe the list I had to get done. The list I had to get done, I'm not sure anyone in the United States could have gotten done. But what, it's just me. So instead I just rested and I'm kind of working on my quiet space, realizing, but I'm not like pushing it. I'm just working gently every day, realizing I need to just switch a lot of my priorities and switch what I'm focusing on and what I'm doing. And Shirley's back. She is exhausted. The trip was very hard on her body because she had been down for 8 weeks before she went. So flying is hard anyway when you're 6 feet tall. And when you sit down and the seat in front of you is already touching your knees before they lean back. I mean, it's just a huge challenge. So she's exhausted. And then, being around a child every day. And then she had a terrible time coming back. So we're laying low, way low. And my niece's wedding is Saturday, and guess what? We're not going.
Mm.
And I do not feel like the crumb of the earth for that, which is delightful. But I mean, I really thought about it. I don't have a COVID vaccine. There's a terrible stomach flu going around. We're both exhausted. It's a Catholic mass in a great big church with, a huge crowd of people. You can't even see what's going on in the front. It's not really very personal. And then they're going to have like a 2-hour dessert reception next door, which we were going to leave for anyway, because it runs into the dark and we have an hour and a half drive and we can't get back home. So we were literally going to go and sit somewhere in a room to watch a Catholic mass and then, see him walk down the, well, hell, I can see pictures. So, but being a person with some intelligence, I have not told anyone in the family that we're not going yet because they will come up with a million reasons why they can make it work for us to go. So sometime late Saturday morning, when no one would possibly have time to say they can drive and get us or anything, I'm just going to say, we're sick. And we're so sorry. Could you please send us pictures and thank you? And I can't believe how fine I feel about that. I adore this couple, but I don't adore this couple enough. And it's going to be cold. It's getting colder. There's snowy stuff coming. I don't adore them enough to put us in jeopardy. So they'll still be getting married and it'll be lovely. And we just won't put ourselves in jeopardy. It takes me a long time to get to that. But that's where I am. So, and that's good. The other thing that's just interesting, and I don't know what it has to do with anything, but I was 5 when JFK was assassinated. And I remember so many pieces of that, even though I was just, a kindergartner. But now I've become interested in kind of putting together bigger pieces of that because my memories are so slight in the picture of all of that. And it was such a huge event that changed so much of the course of our country and how much we trust or distrust the government and how much hope we have and so many things. So I've just kind of spent some spare time kind of watching things. And it's interesting to go back, for me to go back and see what the world looked like when I was 5. Because there's so much stuff, there's so many, like there was this thing on, oh, what was it? National Geographic channel last week that had 3 different hours and they were showing films from the time and interviewing people that were there. And I now realize like I'm like 5, so I'm one of the last generations that could possibly remember this. And there used to be a thing that people would say, like, where were you when JFK was shot? And I can say I was watching cartoons waiting for my mom to take me to kindergarten when they interrupted them to tell us that the president had been shot, which I'm like, okay, this is important. Better go tell mom, But the majority of the people that I know now weren't a part of that. And, and of course they weren't born yet. I don't know, but it's been interesting to me just to go back and kind of put some different pieces together. I want to ask my brother what he remembers because he was 6. And so that would be interesting, but it's interesting to look at our world in the eyes of that and also to see how much has changed and how much hasn't changed at all. I don't know, very reflective about that for some reason, and I don't know why. But it could be because it's 60 years, tomorrow it's 60 years. And so I think that really got my attention. And Fiona the other day hurt her leg and she was limping and terribly. And I'm so worried about her. This is why I keep staring on the floor. But then the next day she was fine. But I pick her up lately and she's a lot lighter. And she's always had a leg disease and she's always had a breathing problem and she's got a lot of stuff and she's done really, really good. But I'm a little obsessed because I don't think she can even climb up here right now. So I just keep watching for her. So you'll just have to ignore that because I need to make sure she's okay. So.
All right. Thank you. So, yeah, it just feels like there's a lot going on in the world. I don't have that much going on. I don't have anything specific really to even speak into. I don't think. But yeah, things are shifting and changing, and I continue to keep my awareness on that which I want to see, which causes my housemate to say things like I'm ignoring things. I'm like, yeah, I think I am on purpose, consciously. But I'm still reading, I'm reading my Heather Cox Richardson every day and my Robert Wright and my 1440 and all of that. So I don't feel like completely oblivious to what's going on in the world, but I feel a little bit more disconnected right now for some reason. And that's good. And then my other group, excuse, oh, I got to sneeze, maybe. That's Arizona dust. My other group is like seeing this totally different world and just really brilliant things. Solera's, I might have mentioned this before, but her brother died about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And then her nephew had a baby like 2 months ago, and she swears it's her brother. So now he's like 6 weeks, 8 weeks old, and he's like alert and engaged, and he's wearing like 6 month to 12-month clothes, and she's communing with her brother. And he was a rock star, not that we would know him, but he was always in bands and support. And so this whole thing about the those who have gone are reincarnating, if you will, with something big and bold to do. And that reminded me that when we were with Finley, this was on my mind. Solera's brother was on my mind. And I thought, oh, Finley is Rob's mom. And I went, wow, that's wild. I have no idea about any of the other kids in my family. I don't have any sense at all, but I'm excited to go see those boys a week from tomorrow for a few days. So that'll be fun. And Thanksgiving, I'll just be quiet. Me and Rob and my mom and one of her neighbors. So easy, spacious, way too much food that I don't want to eat, but it was just easier to say yes than try to sort all that out. So life is good. My soul likes being here in Arizona. My soul likes Arizona. My personality, not so much, but my soul. That's good. So, update. Let me give you an update on the Wimberley process, just so you might be curious. I've been invited to candidate. That'll be in the middle of January. So I have lots of time to make a non-decision. So just keep,
Remind me what that is.
It's the church in Wimberley, Texas, which is an hour from Tyler, outside of Austin. I applied.
For full-time ministry?
I did.
Wow.
And I go from, oh my God, this is so right, to what the hell are you thinking, girl? And everything in between. But it keeps,
Yeah, that's a big change.
yeah. So, yeah, I guess we probably were talking about that one of the weeks you were gone, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
we'll-
you have like what's it mean, invited to candidate?
It means I will go for a weekend and meet the
Okay.
congregation as an official candidate in the middle
Got
of
it.
January.
Wow.
Yeah, so nothing's happening fast. Everything's very, very slow. They're in no hurry. And remember, we're going to be in Europe in April. So it could be, I don't even have to make a decision until May. You know what I mean? I don't, even if they offer it, I don't know if they will or not. But anyway, it keeps unfolding. And Rob keeps saying, I can see it work. I'm like, okay. Which is as bizarre as that I was curious about it anyway. And the impulse was there. So just trying to create a lot of space around possibilities. All right. So let's play the thing that I went late. I missed most of my global group today, so I don't have a whole lot about what we were doing in that, but something about retaining the knowledge of our essence. And it was like in relation to these newborn babies who are coming in with conscious. But I thought, well, what if we were to retain right now a deeper knowledge of the essence of who we are and who we're here, who we are and who we're here to be. But I'm open to other possibilities, other ideas. What do you want to play with today?
Well, I'll just kind of, my response to what you just said is that's a lot of what I've been, my inner process has been the last few days is the yearning for, or that desire to be more who I really am, that essence of myself, rather than the programming and the things that I tend to lean on. And so that really rings bell for me.
Okay, cool. Anybody else?
Somehow I think it lines up with this authenticity thing that is coming around me and to me. So they might be in alignment in an unknown way.
Right, yeah.
I get the alignment there. I've been thinking about, I never am a person that has spent a lot of time pondering reincarnation or anything. It just hasn't been within my radar. But more and more lately I've been going, well, I wonder if I want to do this or that, or if like my reincarnated whoever that is supposed to do that. So it's really interesting. I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to get all these things done within my lifetime that I've ever wanted to do. I'm just like, well, maybe I've set the stage for that and then someone else will do that, or maybe that's not it. It's just interesting to hear this reincarnated thing because it was kind of a freedom to me. To think that anything that I'm called to do is I might be a part of the backstory of that being called to do by, and I thought that was actually very freeing.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna hop in real quick and just say
I had to turn my fan on. I'm right here though.
when Strider was born, Eliza had a similar experience. I talked to him before he came in. He talked to me, but there was a moment when I was changing him and watching him, and he was making sound. I don't know what he was doing, but he was communicating as they do, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me, so, oh my God, you're my dad. And how they get so excited. It's like they've been recognized. And he would have this as little, he never knew my dad was gone before he was born. He would know things in the house, like what was grandpa's radio and he knew things. And I'm just saying, there's just some thread that I didn't know could weave through that way. So
curious, isn't it? Yeah, Steve.
Not exactly in the same vein, but I meant to mention earlier that it's been about 2 weeks now since I've heard from my Chicago daughter. And both Annie and both Nancy and I put out some communications to her about gifting her with a ticket to come down during Christmas. And it's been kind of all quiet on the Western Front. So I'd like to see some connection energy added to this mix.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. She's probably trying to sort out her schedule and figure out time, but yeah, come on, communicate.
Yeah. I'll let you know, can't do it.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Any of the above.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Interesting. Just jumping off what Kate just said, I'm feeling I think this is not new. I've probably spoken into it again recently in the last few months, but I'm feeling like there's something that the drive that I've always had to push and be and do more is sort of gone. It's very interesting. It's not completely gone, but it's like it's changing. It's like folding in on each other, which I don't know if that has to do with being interested in settled ministry, or I don't know. I don't know. There's so many layers of what's going through my consciousness and playing and unfolding, but it's like so curious. So
Don't you think, like, there's this thought that we've been, for as long as we've been together, and when you first started this, talking about how dramatic changes are going to be, and that all these incredible shifts are going on in our, why wouldn't it be that language isn't serving us right now? I don't have the new yet. I feel when I don't know what it is, but I can feel that it is, but I just haven't moved in totally to the, in fact, so it's funny, I wrote down when we started, not knowing where this was going, I'm hesitant to move on. What is that about? I think it had to do with the house and Christmas, but more than that, I'm hesitant. And I thought, because we're in new terrain, we're in new territory, and what? So,
fascinating. So whatever your version of remembering, retaining the knowledge of the new, how about that? Retaining the knowledge of the newness that we are becoming, both of our essence that's always been, but also the newness of who we're becoming on this planet in our humanity, and knowing all is well and it is done. And we'll just go explore and see what comes. And I'm feeling gems. Anybody want something different? Gems.
Gems works for me, and this light is shining in my eyes, so I'm gonna get up and move the lighting around in the room just for a second. Okay.
I'll tell you, gyms are important because I had this little display in the entry when you come in, and I removed, anything that would look like a skirt, and I put all my crystals away. And all of a sudden, I heard that this is so weird. I sort of got decorations that talked to me, and it said, "Use your crystals as the skirt." So the tree is surrounded by quartz and all of the energy that we have here.
Yeah. And look what I have on my desk here, a little bowl of, and I forgot it was here when I got here, I forget what I leave here, what's out. All right, so retaining the knowledge of our full essence, past, present, future, who I really am, opening, allowing, knowing all is well and it is done. All right, Emerald, a universal heart cleanser and balancer, energies of the divine feminine and the divine mother, gently coaxes the heart to open, to allow a greater experience of love in the physical body. Jadeite Jade, a vibration of peace, balance, and timeless simplicity, helps us stay centered in the moment with an awareness and acceptance of our true essence. Diamond brings clarity to the sixth chakra, which is the third eye, harmonizes divine and personal will, helps us activate personal will in its highest form, strengthens our ability to act in alignment with divine purpose. Rhodolite Garnet increases our ability to inhabit the physical body, helps us reconnect energetically with parts of the body that have been injured or traumatized, rebuilds the web of etheric energy in areas disrupted by surgery. And Citrine harmonizes the mental body with higher spiritual laws, increases access to divine truth and intelligence, amplifies qualities of concentration, centering, and rational mind.
Do you realize those first four were the same ones that we had last time?
Yeah, isn't
They've
that
been in a
crazy?
different order.
Yeah.
What's the fourth one?
Rhodolite Garnet. We had that for the first time last time. It's RHODALITE, Garnet.
Okay.
I think, Steve, did you post it? I think a picture of it.
Right,
It was
yes.
very, very
Okay.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Citrine. All right, it's almost the hour. So do you want to do the 5 or do you want to go with 3 to start?
3's good. We're running out of time.
3? All right. So feeling that we will get the full impact of our 6 minutes in 3 as we line up, open and receive, starting now. Noticing what you're experiencing. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
Well, I basically checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gone. I couldn't tell you a single thing that I experienced or was aware of. Not asleep, but just not aware, or not consciously aware, I should say.
Sometimes that's when the deepest stuff happens, right?
It felt deep, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When I felt myself wandering a little bit, realizing that I have a citrine in the middle of this ring that I wear. So for some reason it grabbed my attention before we went in, and it was like, oh, okay, what was that about? And I totally forgot what you'd said. And then I looked at it here, but where I went was I had here's what I do when I feel myself start to kind of drift without just I always have to use our mantra, and it came through again today. I have to pull that back in. That's my grounding tool. Before it used to be, it would yank me out of almost beyond. I wouldn't have called that grounded. It felt so bigger than I was, and now it feels like it's a grounding. So its hugeness is more natural now. Does that make sense? So I tap into it, and not to cling to, but just to bring it back around. And I just felt how do I just say, my head actually felt lighter. And my body, I felt like an ear opened up. The reason we've been married so long, Steve says I can't hear him half the time, and that could be, but it's like it like almost popped open, and I thought, oh, well, there was something going energetically in that direction, but I felt lifted. I wanted to say uplifted, but it was lifted.
Very cool.
Well, I started out standing on a bluff, and like with all this wind, and I was trying not to get like pushed off the bluff, so I was kind of fighting it, and then I thought, well, I'll just go with it, but it was pushing so hard, and I was like still trying to hold back because I thought it was going to push me like down this cliff. So though I tried to go with it, I was still fighting it. And then it picked me up. So then that was cool. I was, kind of gently flying along. But then I still found myself like searching, and I was looking around like, what am I supposed to see? There must be something I'm supposed to see. And I'm like, would you kind of knock that off? So then I found myself kind of in this space that was like, and I've never been in one of those things, those no gravity, no sensing pools where you have no, but I felt like that's where I was. And then I was just like Steve, gone, still, not trying to figure it out, not trying to go with it or go against or whatever, just gone. And that's where I remained.
Okay, cool.
Well, I started off with feeling like I was getting sort of, well, with my thoughts and stuff being bounced around a bit, and just it's like, well, this and this. But I then I sort of got in this river, or yeah, it was more like it was a big stream, and it was the choppy and stuff was that kind of being irritated with not knowing what was really happening, and then, but I got into this flow, and just that whole, it just ended up this feeling of being floating and moving with the current, and just gently the flow, and it was really nice.
Cool. For me, it felt like almost a, like unzipping of an outer layer. And old stuff, whether that's thoughts or ideas or limits or limitations or something, were just dropping away. Anything that was false or not my truest essence was just being peeled off. For me, but for all of us, and just leaving this super sweet, spacious place. Maybe I got pulled out too. Is this citrine? Can you tell? Yeah,
Looks
yours
like
is-
it.
Yeah, yours is darker. Yes, but yeah, that's one of the stones that's in my little pile here.
Ah, nice.
You're muted, Nancy.
It's actually it's a silver, I think, that's muting it. It's quite yellow, a deep yellow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this one's pretty
Yeah.
mellow. It's pretty raw, but it's smooth.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's do another minute and a half and top it off and see what else comes, starting in that deep, spacious, that place that we all kind of landed in. And here we go. Taking a breath. Noticing what you noticed. When you're ready, open your eyes. And how was that? Anybody?
I love looking at everybody so serene.
Right?
Me, I didn't go there too well this time. I started thinking about our garbage that didn't get picked up for 2 days and hoping they come tomorrow. And should I call them again? And my brain went there. So, and I didn't have a ton of time to let that go. So then I came out and I saw these beautiful, serene faces. And so that made me feel very serene. And not stressful. I was just thinking about it. It wasn't like I was obsessing on it or anything. It just came to my mind.
Yes. Okay.
I think I went where Steve went before because I was just, in fact, I couldn't hardly come back out of it. I felt so sucked in to something it was. And what's funny is I had just before that written a note that Steve can take to pickleball tonight that says that his wife totally supports him playing pickleball on our 31st wedding anniversary. Because he told me they might not let him in because he told him it was the anniversary and he wouldn't be there. So I had written a note before that, and I just totally released everything after I wrote that note and took the journey that you put us on. It was smooth. It was just smooth.
Caveat, if he brings me a treat when he comes home.
Yeah, like he needs permission, but this is to protect him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You all heard it right here.
Yeah, we heard it. So not only your wife, your whole team here supports
right.
you in playing pickleball tonight.
Well, I thought I was going to go back into that kind of big, empty, full space, if that makes sense. I mean, it's definitely full, and there was all kinds of things going on. But it's like there were so many, so much that I couldn't hone in on anything, any one thing. So I think I'm supposed to let that sit and see what comes back around.
Yeah. Awesome.
So for me, I started, I felt like it was that, like peeling the layers of an onion. It was like I was just sitting here, but I could just feel things dropping off and another thing, and not specifically, no idea of what it was, but just like an uncovering. And then, and as well, that feeling, just a peacefulness and joy, a lot of joy, contentment, like was came present. So that was my experience. I was also aware of a lot of the noise and stuff at the beginning. It was just like, how am I going to do this? but that's what started letting go, and so it's a very nice place.
And I just felt that the more we do this, the more we stay present to all is well, it is done. It becomes so true. It's like, it feels to me tonight that there's nothing we have to do, and anything we choose to do is fine, but not out of that place of urgency or I have to or that push. And so I just ended up with all is well. It is done, and we are good. For lack of a better word, we're good. Look at us. And so if we carry this spaciousness through our days and our pickleball games and our PT and decoration and family and choices, it feels spacious and easy and ease-filled and grace-filled and rich to me.
Much to be thankful for. A perfect week for how nice that they planned Thanksgiving this week.
How nice, right?
We're having this experience.
Yeah,
just for
right.
just for us.
This is for us. And we do meet next week because it's not even December yet next week. So
Yeah.
So
Pack it in. Yeah.
same
Thank
time,
you,
same
guys.
place. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I'm very grateful for
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
such
you.
an important part of my
Yeah.
being.
Mm.
Right.
Love you.
Love it.
All right. Happy birthday, Steve. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yes.
Happy pickleball.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
Indeed. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.